Yo, 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 this is Miss Etzel in the his house. Miss Etzel Pretzel, Miss Etz Dog, whatever you want to call me, you know who I am. So as you guys can see, you guys do not have me here today. I'm actually at a conference out of town. So that doesn't mean that you guys cannot be a day without learning math. So even though you guys have a substitute, I will still be here in spirit. So whatever you guys are doing, I still see you. Okay, so today, even though I'm not here, I still want to teach you guys all about parallel lines and transversals. So you guys had an intro day with Mrs. Hills, and what we're going to do is we're going to spend 2 days on this. So you're going to spend 1 day with me learning it the boring, probably not so fun math way, but that's okay because at least you don't have to look at me, right? And then the second day, we're going to go ahead and switch groups, and you're going to be with Miss Hills where you're going to do a different kind of way of learning it. So 2 days of learning parallel lines and transversals. So what we're doing today is all we're learning about are 2 types of angles. That's it. We're learning about corresponding and we're learning about vertical angles. So this is not on your handout, so if at this time if you don't have a handout, the substitute should go ahead and hand out the handout that says parallel lines, transversals, and angle relationships. So what we're going to do is you guys don't even have to write anything down yet. Just take a look at this slide. So parallel lines, this should not be new to you. Ready for this cool thing? You can even see me write. Parallel lines never intersect. So this right here is an example of what parallel lines should look like. Do they always have to be horizontal? Absolutely not. You can have vertical parallel lines. You can have diagonal parallel lines as long as they never intersect, meaning that they will never cross each other. Alright, so at this bottom, even though you guys can't do it, I can. So it says, can you move these lines to make them parallel? Well, if they're parallel, again, they will not intersect each other. So right now, they're not parallel because if I made this line longer, oop, guess what? It crossed. So I can't have that. So how am I going to move that to make that parallel? Well, ready for some math-a-magic right here? Okay. These lines now, not quite yet, are now parallel because even if I extend them forever and ever, okay, they will never intersect each other. That is an awful line, but we're going to go ahead and pretend that that is straight. I hope you guys are just as entertained as I am right now. Okay, so moving on to this next slide. What is a transversal? You guys did a little bit of this the other day when we did that Google drawing. So what a transversal is, it's actually another line, but it intersects the other 2 lines. So here we have our parallel lines right here in blue. Okay? So those are our parallel lines. Again, they're never going to intersect. A transversal is just another line that crosses in between. Usually that line is going to be diagonal. It's usually not going to be a vertical line or straight. Well, it's going to be straight, just not vertical. So it's usually on a diagonal like this. All right, in that red. So what happens when we do that, it actually breaks up our parallel lines into a bunch of different angles. Here, I'm going to draw little black dots. Here are all my different angles. Let's go ahead and count how many of that are. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and finally we have 8 angles right there. The bottom question right here, okay, asks us, can I draw another transversal, so another line, that intersects the parallel lines above? Well, sure I can. Okay, so we have the 2 blue lines that are parallel lines. Now I want to make another line that's a transversal. Well, this is a transversal, okay? It crosses the 2 parallel lines, right? Here's another transversal. Crosses the 2 blue lines. Here's another one. Here's another one. There are many lines that you can draw, okay? But like we said, it's usually going to look like the one listed right now, how it's just that diagonal. Okay, so now I want you guys to go ahead and look at that handout of yours where it says parallel lines and transversals on the top. If you don't know where that is, you're obviously not looking at your sheet because it's that very first page. So what I want you guys to go ahead and do, it says draw 2 parallel lines and a transversal that cuts through both lines. I just showed you how to do that. Okay, so what we want to do is make sure that that picture takes up most of that room below. If you want to use colored pencils, there's some colored pencils up front you can grab. Otherwise, just a regular old pencil, number 2, you know, is just fine. What we're going to be doing is I want the substitute to go ahead and hand out some protractors, those little yellow things that kind of look like half a circle. What we're going to be doing is measuring each of these angles. So I kind of told you the black angles that we had right here. So I want you to go ahead and take that protractor and measure each of those angles. So we have an acute angle right here. We have an obtuse angle right here. We're going to go ahead and measure all of those, and I want you to list how many degrees each of those angles are. Okay, if you don't remember how many angles we need 8. So go ahead and do that. I will give you guys about 5 minutes or so to do that. Remember, you're not going to have the same amount of degrees as your partner, so do not copy theirs. All right, talk to you guys soon.